This has been so tough for the residents of the Five Oaks subdivision, a really rough morning for them. No one has ever seen anything like this, and no one expected anything like this. The water keeps rising and the rain keeps coming. We're getting a little break now, but these breaks don't last long, as we've seen all morning. We want to show you right behind us right now, Cobb County fire crews still here on the scene, helping to rescue the residents who are trapped in their flooded homes. As many as 40 or 50 residents have evacuated so far. Dozens of those have been rescued through boats with these fire crews. The Powder Springs Creek, that's the creek back behind us that keeps rising, and it has become dangerous. The rising water in the Five Oaks subdivision caught everyone off guard. Some walked through it carrying children on their backs and bags full of belongings.
Everybody's in their homes hollering and screaming. I carried a few people out on my back from their houses, teenage kids who was waiting to go to school.
Where are the people that come get the people out of here? There are older people in their homes still.
Right. Cobb County fire crews eventually brought in boats to rescue women and children. The water rising too fast and too high to risk getting them out any other way. The flooding was bad enough, but there was also fire, a house fire with a family of 4 inside.
I could see the family in the living room, and I just kept screaming, "Get out the house, get out the house." And they finally came through the front door. By that time, the garage was just engulfed in flames.
Crews had to work around high water to fight the fire. The entire neighborhood now evacuated as the water keeps rising.
I don't know, everything I've ever worked for is just gone. Ain't nothing I can do about it, though.
This is video that we just shot right before this newscast started of a little boy being rescued, being brought out of the rescue boat by crews. One of the firefighters putting a fire hat on him as he walked him out to safety. He was stuck in his home with his family as the water rose quickly. Everyone caught off guard by this, really unable to prepare. And that is why so many people are affected. When we arrived at about 8:30 this morning, the neighborhood was quiet. Everyone was inside, assuming that the water wouldn't get high enough, that it would be dangerous. Now it is, and it keeps rising. The residents are being cared for by the local emergency officials. There's a bus they can stay on now. Eventually they'll go to the Powder Springs courthouse, where they will be able to meet with Red Cross officials so that they can figure out some place to stay. Again, this creek behind us, the bridge behind us washed out, and we keep moving back because the water keeps rising. No telling how high it will go today. Right behind me, you can see we're on the corner of Jesse Hill Junior Drive and Edgewood Avenue. This corner store, the front wall literally spilling over into the sidewalk. You can see all of these bricks. That gives you a sense of just how powerful the storm was. This building right here, not in great shape. Looks like there was some fire damage from earlier, but yet you see these piles of brick out in front, and that is what this storm brought down, falling into this truck parked right out in front. Just beyond us, we're about a block away from the downtown connector, and you can see a billboard just over the connector, just twisted and wrapped around. It certainly gives you the sense that these were circular winds. That just beyond on the east side of the connector there, just on the edge of downtown. Over here on Auburn Avenue, we want to take you, want to go on a little walk with you and give you a sense of the damage all around here. A little bit of traffic, a lot of Grady workers still trying to get through here to work, although officials are trying to discourage people from getting down in this area because it's still really dangerous. There is a lot of debris on the ground. You can see right here. And the big thing, a lot of power lines down. This power pole right in front of us snapped in two, still dangling over the roadway, and it looks like 3 other power poles leaning over into the roadway, and some lines down, some lines still dangling. It is a very dangerous situation. In fact, earlier at 5 a.m., a few hours ago, police officials and fire officials gave us a briefing on the damage and telling us what they want people to do today. Let's let you listen to Captain Bill May from the fire department.
Well, basically what we're doing is we're asking everybody to, if at all possible, to stay out of the city. We do have more storms expected to come in. Power lines are down. There's still glass falling from the incident overnight. So we ask everybody to please stay out of the downtown area.
And I want to clarify, that was actually Officer Eric Schwartz with the police department who was briefing us this morning. We've got a briefing from the police and fire department. They are both stationed at the Unified Command Center just down the street from us. Here you see these front windows of these buildings here. We believe they were abandoned buildings. Doesn't look like there's any furniture inside, but they were blown out. There's glass everywhere. A pole right in the middle of the with the speed limit sign right in the middle of the sidewalk here. There's debris everywhere. You really have to be careful where you walk. Right across the street is the Sweet Auburn Curb Market. No significant structural damage as we can tell, but some damage to the signs and the awnings. Power is out to this area. We're told about 12,000 Georgia Power customers right now still without power. I saw a fire official down here taking pictures just a few minutes ago, and I said, "It's bad, isn't it?" And he said, "Yes, it is, but it could have been so much worse."
This is 11 Alive's Weekend Morning News.
Good morning and welcome to 11 Alive Weekend Morning News. I'm Jennifer Leslie in for Valerie Hoff.
And welcome. We're glad you're here with us this morning as Valerie's feeling a little bit under the weather. I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb. Speaking of weather, we have another beautiful day on tap.
Really looking forward to that. There are several hit and runs in the news this morning, including a driver who kept going after hitting a family of 4 in Cobb County. A little boy died in that accident.
Will there be a return of Freaknik next weekend? And if there is, how big will it be? Even if Freaknik doesn't materialize, next weekend can be a busy one on the roads. We're going to have details coming up.
And one round to go. Lee Westwood leads the Masters, but Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson are within striking distance. It'll be a fun one to watch today.
I think so. And we've got beautiful weather for the world to watch our state today. Over in Augusta, it's going to be nice. Here in Atlanta, it's going to be nice. Plenty of sunshine. A little warmer today than it was yesterday. Highs near 74 degrees. Stay with us. We've got a dry week ahead in the 7-day forecast. We'll talk about it coming up.
Thanks, Chris. And as always, you can join our live chat by clicking on the blue bar on the front page of 11alive.com. In that chat, we have a couple of experts from H&R Block who can answer your tax questions all morning. Cobb County Police are looking for the driver who struck a family of 4 as they tried to cross Austell Road. A 4-year-old boy died as a result. 11 Alive's Jerry Carnes is live at the scene with what police know at this point. Jerry, good morning. We should know by this time next week whether the new Freaknik will be anything like the spring break ritual that virtually shut down the city in the past. Just in case, 2 Metro police agencies have ordered all hands on deck. As John Sherrick reports, they'll need the extra staff no matter what happens. A hit-and-run suspect is in jail tonight, and police say his friends are actually the ones who turned him in. That's after they heard about a hit-and-run accident this weekend that killed a 4-year-old. 11 Alive's Duffy Dixon has more. To get a sense for how much need there is, you just need to look around here. This is the pantry on Stewart Parkway in Douglasville. These are the volunteers who have stepped up this morning to give away food to hundreds of families. Every family, they're driving up here. You'll see some in a moment, driving up to get bags full of groceries, fresh food, eggs, cheese, 26 pounds worth of food for each family. The pantry does this every weekend. They usually see 150 to 200 families. Today, they will serve 650 families. Many of those are flood victims who are turning out because they have lost just about everything. This will help. They began camping out here at 9 o'clock last night. When the pastor in charge arrived this morning, 200 people were already in line. They've been giving out numbers to people who stand in line for those numbers, fill out some paperwork, and then they come here. They get in their cars and they drive up. This is just part of what they're getting. They'll round the corner here and get even more food. The need is so great. The pantry has been around for a couple of years and is really coming through in this time of need. Wants people to feel hopeful in this time that they are all hurting. So many of these flood victims talking about their efforts to starting to get FEMA aid. There is a lot of need here, and you can just see that as you look around. Live in Douglasville, Jennifer Leslie, 11 Alive News. The Athens area here got more than 5 inches of snow yesterday, and it is still everywhere. Take a look where it's piled up in a lot of places. This is a parking lot, which is pretty well traveled, but where there is no snow, there is ice. I mean, it's so thick, it's really hard to walk around and certainly hard to drive. Emergency officials really encouraging people to stay off the roads. They're also having a little bit of trouble with people calling into 911 to report their power out. They don't want you to do that unless there's a dangerous line there. About tens of thousands of people still without power here at the height of the storm, 40,000 people. So a lot of trouble in this area. Again, more than 5 inches of snow. It'll take a while to clear out. Certainly the roads are dangerous. It will help that schools are out of session, including the University of Georgia today. So we'll keep you posted from here throughout the morning. For now, we'll send it back to you. 6 to 9 inches of snow. It's hard to believe this area really got pounded. The snow is melting slowly, but still you can see here we've got about 4 inches on this road here. So it's going to take a while for all of this to melt away and move on out of here. The roadway's very icy as a result of all of this melting snow. It is tough to get around, forcing some people to get creative. With so much snow across the Athens area, David and Yvonne Smith went old school.
On our road, we still snowed in and have no power. And so we just hooked up the mules and a wagon to come to Waffle House and get us a cup of coffee.
You were that desperate to get out.
We needed a coffee.
Their trusty mules, Bill and Jerry, had no trouble making their way. But for modern means of transportation, it was tough.
I've seen a lot of cars on the ditch and a lot of cars on the bridges, on the rails.
The Oconee County Sheriff's Office had to shut down some of the steepest roads, which were covered in ice. As many as 34,000 people still without power from a history-making snowfall.
We measured it, one area was 7 inches. And so more than I've ever seen in my lifetime.
And he grew up in the Athens area, so he certainly has a long history here, never seen anything like this. Pretty impressive to hear that. Schools out for today, even classes at the University of Georgia canceled, so it is another snow day in this area. And from the looks of it, the snow might be around at least into tomorrow. Officials worry that as this melts, it will create some problems on the secondary roads into tomorrow. So they're urging people to be really careful because of the possible freezing temperatures overnight.